It's Judy on the radio, building dreams and achieving more, telling it just like it is. Most of all, keeping it real. Are you ready for real talk? Changing lives and communities. Real talk. Saving all our families. Real talk. Bringing hope for you and me. Real talk. Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy on the radio. Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy on the radio.
Well, good morning and welcome to another hour of the Real Talk with Judy live radio show. I am Dr. Judy, your Real Talk host, and I'm excited about you being here this morning with me. It is a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for tuning in. I want you to go ahead and text, email, whatever you have, share this page. We have some great things we want to get you moving forward with. And y'all know I always call my big brother, my little brother, my younger brother, but definitely one of my chief mentors. And I love to bring him in, especially when I want to deal with leadership. And today I just want to talk to the heart of people, and I want him to help me to inspire, encourage, empower you. There's so many people dealing with so many things, and this hurt can be stressful. He and I were just talking about an incident, and it can really get to you. And so we're gonna dive into that. But before I do that, and my husband, he may be back with me. Y'all know he took off on Tuesdays. Now, Bishop, I think he's trying to be my co-host. My permanent co-host. That's what I think he's trying to have me to do. He ain't said it yet, but I think that's what he's trying to do. We celebrated his 67th birthday yesterday. He is 67. I mean, so many calls and so many texts and messages. And Sunday at church, the people talked so well to him. I had some of the members who talked. But Bishop, check this out. We got a 19-year-old boy there. Young man. He's a 19-year-old man. He's the usher. He's an usher at the door. And we found out Sunday he is the lead usher. That's what he told us Sunday. He's the lead usher. And he started a job at Wendy's. He was working for us at the daycare, but he's going to be working at Wendy's. He told his managers and stuff when they hired him, he said, I have one request. He said, I have to be off on Sundays because I am the doorkeeper. He said, I am the lead usher, and my pastor trusts me to serve on that door. That's what he told the manager. And he told him, he said, and when people come in, and then he told us Sunday, he said, when people come inside that church or anything happen, the first person they're going to encounter is me. He said, and I am honored, Pastor. Thank you for allowing me to serve. Yeah. Bishop, that touched our heart so, because he's 19, he's a young man. And he said that he had to be there to usher, not to be an elder, not to be a minister. And then he told us later he wants to learn everything he can from Pastor. He said he admired him. He said, I want to learn everything I can from you. He said, I really want to be the best usher that I can be. And he said, hopefully when I turn like 40 or something, 45, I will have learned how to train others to usher. Yeah. Bishop, that floored us. Cause some people, they serve and they get a certain place and they get tired and but that was rewarding. So, I was just saying, I want to thank you all, everybody. I mean, he had so many calls and so many texts, a lot of happy birthdays on Facebook and Instagram, and and some good messages from people you don't even know. Men, and it says something when men can come and really celebrate you. So, but he may be back, he may not be back today, but I just want to thank y'all. But y'all go ahead and get them on. Hey, Harriet. Hey, Harriet. Harriet is a friend of about 40 years. She used to fly in Air Force One with the president. She's an Air Force. She's in the Air. Well, she was in the Air Force. She's retired, a sergeant major. I'm gonna get it wrong, but she served real high up there in the president cabinet. And Harriet, thank you for being tuned on. Everybody, thank you. But y'all go ahead and share because Bishop Derek McCray is from the Experience Christian Center in Orlando. He's a presiding bishop over. He's gonna introduce that part. But y'all, this man here is absolutely phenomenal, and he's going to help me navigate you to a place of at least able to see past the hurt, at least able to see, at least able to find a road, a map or a lane to move you forward from the hurt. But in the meantime, let me say hello to my mama. Hey, mama. Hey, mama. Tanya, those of you in Fort Lauderdale, thank y'all so very much. Y'all continue my mama in prayer. My mama doing so well. It's like she's doing so well. We don't want her to desire no boyfriend or anything. We just want her to keep doing well. And she asked about Bishop Lamar Simmons the other day and Doc D, and I told them I can't call any one of them daddy. None of them. They are brothers, not daddies. No. So, but y'all continue to pray for her, but she's doing well, and I greatly appreciate you all so very much. Y'all pray for the Church of God in Christ. We're going to be, hopefully by the time, before we get off, Bishop, we'll see who they elected to the general board.
We shall see.
We shall see. We shall see. I sure gonna have it on. So y'all go ahead and get them on. But I want to thank Priscilla, Missionary John Lewis, who are our production manager, who have been working with me for 9 years. I've been on 9 years, Bishop. Since November the 3rd was 9 years.
Wow.
November the 3rd was 9 years. And someone sent me a cash app and said, "You didn't ask for no money this year." I told her, "Hold on, it's coming." It's coming. I'm going to ask. So we'll take care next year. But just want to thank you. Huh?
I got the results.
Oh, you got them?
Yes.
How you got them so fast? All right, y'all want to hear the results?
You want to hear results?
Yeah, give me the results. Here we go.
So I'll start bottom and go up. Bishop Charles H. McCullen, 2,436 votes.
He's
Bishop
on the board.
W. Wooten Sr., 2,606 votes. Bishop Jerry L. Maynard, 2,975 votes. Bishop Prince E. Bryant, 3,039 votes. Bishop Brandon Porter, 3,608 votes. Bishop Michael E. Hill, 3,611 votes. Bishop Darrell Hines, 3,622 votes. Bishop Frank Anthon White, 3,655 votes. Bishop Linwood Dillard, 4,295 votes. Bishop Elijah Hankerson.
Yes, that's why I wanted him back.
4,519 votes. Bishop Jerry Macklin, 4,732 votes. Bishop J. Drew Sheard, 4,886 votes. That's your general board. Wooten made it.
I knew they were gonna put Wooten back on there for the principle of the thing. That's
No.
everybody.
Wooten made it.
That's the old man, right?
Yes.
That's why I wanted on there.
Yeah.
I wanted him on there because he called my mama. He called and check on my mama all the time. Oh my Lord. Who's the general secretary?
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh my Lord.
Yep.
I vote for every last one of them.
Awesome.
Yes, Tamil, did you hear that? I'm glad Dillard's on there. I knew Anton White was gonna be in there, and I wanted Bishop Hankerson back on there. I wanted to make sure.
I'm happy for Anthon White.
Yes.
I'm happy for Hankerson as well.
Oh,
I'm happy. I'm happy for Bishop Jerry Macklin. So I think good group, good diverse group of individuals there. You got some young and you got some old working together. I think it's a good board.
I think that's a good board.
Good board.
I think they're going to keep Drew as presiding bishop too.
I don't think that anybody will run against him.
I don't think they should.
I don't think they will.
You don't
But
think they will?
I do believe that Linwood's day is coming.
Oh, I believe that he's going to be the next presiding. I believe after Sheard, I believe it's going to be Linwood.
I do too.
He's good. He's good. Then you're going to come back with us? I don't put your eye on air. We got 50,000 people listening to you. Yeah. Oh, wow. Thank you, Bishop. Listen, that's a happy day. That's a happy day. I'm waiting on the rest. I want to see who got the financial secretary. That's what Antoine used to be, right?
Antoine, yeah. Antoine used to be.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Derek Scott, who is he came in as the highest vote getter for the Board of Trustees. I thought
that was good too, Bishop.
I served with Derek for a while in the youth department, international youth department, and Derek is the youngest ever to be appointed to the board. Happy for him.
Did you see what happened to you? Did you see what happened last night? Because they left his name off, and he didn't get to participate in anything.
Wow.
Yeah, he wasn't even on the front page where they had all of the candidates. He didn't get to do his speech. So what Bishop Dustin did, Bishop Dustin said, to be fair, you got 2 minutes to do it. And when that man gave all of his experience.
Oh, Derek is phenomenal.
Oh, my gosh.
Dating back to University of Michigan for Derek, and he's done a lot of national programs. He's worked with me on some of my programs, even since I have stepped away from the Church of God in Christ. Derek is great. He's going to be good.
All his work at Harvard and all of that, and Bishop, that was something else.
Happy Derek Scott, really good. And then of course, Milton Timmons came in number 2. So again, great guys. I love the Grand Old Church of God in Christ. You know that. Oh,
I know that. Yeah. It's in you.
It's in you.
So Bishop, what I want to do today is, I know after Kamala lost, and I think all of us got thoughts on that. Everybody asked what went wrong. My honest belief is that she's a Black female. She was a Black woman. I think that was the major thing. They weren't going to vote for a Black woman, other than a whole lot of other stuff. But I think the number one problem was she was a Black woman, and because she was well qualified, I think she did a good job. The team she had working, supporting her, I think they did a good job. But I don't want us to, I saw people on Facebook, well, just get over it. You got to do this. Right. I think dealing with the feeling of hurt, disappointment, and all of that. And you could help me here before we go in. I know you're going to give us some data and different things that are going to be very important. I think that we cannot ride past feelings or cause people to minimize what they're feeling. You have to deal with it. You have to acknowledge it. What is?
I think it's a lot of things happening. Our country shows us a few things. I do believe that our country is more sexist than they are racist. I do believe that, for one. So I do believe that's a very, very dominating factor for us. And we've seen it not only through the presidential elections, we've seen it through some of our gubernatorial elections as well.
Yes.
It's hard, especially in certain traditional states, for a woman to rise to the place of power. And I think it's unfair. I think it's definitely unfair. And we have to become more broadened in our imaginations and in our abilities of giving other access to other individuals to lead us. So I'm strong on supporting women in leadership. And let me go ahead and say this before I even go any further. I voted for Harris. Okay, so I voted for her. And I think it's necessary to say that because sometimes when you bring truth, people believe that it meant that you're against.
Okay.
So that's not my case at all. I voted for Harris. Something that I think we're overlooking, though, Pastor Judy, I think we're overlooking the truth that America didn't just vote on the other Tuesday for a person in office.
Yeah.
I think what's even stronger is America voted for an agenda in office.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yes.
the platform of the Republican, the platform of the Democrat, I think the nation said something because
Wow.
Trump got it. He won. To be honest, we always knew it was going to be a very close election. Nobody in the earth with the earth, nobody in the entire earth thought that he would win in such a dominating factor.
Yes.
That's shocking to see, like every rule that we have set up for a person to be presidential was thrown out of the window. And this dude just intentionally decided that I'm going to be against everything that y'all say I'm supposed to do, right? So he does all these things. He wins. He wins huge.
Yeah.
Like I'm watching the election. I was in the mountains with some friends that definitely have a lighter skin complexion than me. Mm-hmm. And so we went away for a retreat for a few days in the mountains of Tennessee. 50% was Republican, 50% was Democrat. Mm-hmm. And as we're sitting here watching this, they are floored because they're Republicans. They're not Trump Republicans necessarily, but they're Republicans still, mm-hmm. right? And it brought us into a hard conversation to have. And where we rested in that conversation was, I believe America is afraid of a future up under the Democrat agenda. Mm-hmm. That's what I think that they voted for. They voted for fear in some of the things and some of the ways that the Democrats felt was best for the country. Mm-hmm. And I think that if we're ever going to see Democrats, for one, get back into a place of power, mm-hmm. maybe the aggressive agenda is too aggressive. And people are fearful right now for their kids and what America we're going to hand their kids.
Okay.
Another thing I think that we really got to visit is what is important to this country as a whole right now, because the country strongly came out with the economy. They came strong with the economy. They came very strong with the borders. Mm-hmm. So these things are sitting in their face. People are fearful of what does life look like and what they can afford to give to their families. So we got to really bring our minds back around that. And maybe get out of some of the civil liberties that has been a huge platform for the Democrat Party and get into the actual economics of life. And when people can spend better and can buy better and can make more, they have a whole mindset. It's hard to make good decisions when you're feeling like you are strapped.
Right.
You find yourself in a place of real strong, like, hey, I got to do something. Another big thing that we're not ready for this discussion right now. And I know I'm probably have a lot of hate mail when I finish talking with you today.
Just know they don't kill you. I'm all right.
When I saw the topic, I said, oh, Jesus. Because I've been saying this for a few years. The other thing that we really got to look into is we have to stop insulting a percentage of African Americans who no longer want to stand on a Democrat platform.
Okay.
Now, I'm a Democrat. I'm a registered Democrat. Mm-hmm. But 77% of the Democrats that we had 4 years ago dropped down to 66% now. Blacks are switching party affiliations. And no longer can you come into church anymore and just be like, and them Republicans, we're going to do this with the Republicans. We need to stop saying that. It's offensive to a population, because here's what I've come to resolve of. This thing has gotten so big that it's not about race anymore. It's really about class.
Yes.
It's about class. And we have to start having intelligent conversations about the class wars that are happening with us and stop dumbing it down to race wars. Now, race is going to always be the case in America. It's just going to be the case. And if we're going to be honest with ourselves, we have racist Democrats. If we're going to really be honest with ourselves, some of the Democrats that walk alongside us, they with us for what they want to get accomplished, but they might not be with us when it comes to race. So race is all over. We got to start thinking class. Mm-hmm. Some influential African Americans are starting to switch to Republicans because of what it does for them in the class. that is a strong stance. And now the Black community got to figure out, how do we bring that conversation to the front that makes the Democrat Party actually court us again? Because I'm convinced the Democrat Party, and I love them, but they don't court us anymore. They don't put money in our communities. They automatically assume we're going to be on their agenda. Our brown brothers and sisters, the Hispanics, we're finding that they're staying liquid in every election, which means that a lot of money has been dumped into their communities. A lot of their needs are starting to be met by their communities because they don't sell out their vote. And I'm not telling the Black people to jump off the Democrat band and go Republicans. Not at all am I saying that.
Right.
I'm telling Democrats to stop taking Black people for granted.
Wow. And you know, Bishop, I'm a Democrat, but I don't vote just down party line.
I don't either.
I look at the candidates, and I had one candidate who was running, and his camp, and this come from his own mouth. His campaign manager told him, and this come from the guy who was running. I was a little taken back. He said, he keep asking me to come to your church and to come visit y'all, Pastor Judy. And he talked about the influence that you have in the community. He said, but I told him I need to go to a church that have at least 1,000 members. This is what he told me.
Wow.
To my face. He said, after I win the election, because I know I'm going to win. He did not. I know, he said, then I'll come to your church. But right now, and you know what I told him? I don't need you at all. But the guy he was running against called me. We talked. He asked me my vision and dream.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't come to our church either, but he inquired about the church.
Yeah.
I see the work that you all are doing in the community.
Yeah.
How can I help you?
Yeah.
I want to say this right quick. Breaking news. Macklin has said that he's not running. He's supporting Bishop Drew Sheard.
Awesome.
All right. Everything is in order now. Everything is in order. But that's, and so he took for granted, Bishop, as you're stating, that because I was Black and he can talk to me like that, that I was going to just vote for him. That was a big turnoff to me to have him put in a seat to represent me.
Yeah, I think universally, when you look across the country, Democrats take certain things for granted. And what I have been noticing about the Republican Party lately is they've been attention to all details. Wow. They've been working on every aspect. Every vote counts to them. I was a little disappointed by seeing that I don't think a lot of effort was poured into the state of Florida for the presidential election. Matter of fact, it's not that I think I have actual knowledge to know that a lot wasn't, not as much as it was 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. It's invested in Florida. People are giving up on Florida. And I'm like, how do you give up on a state that has so many electoral votes? First of all, we really do matter. And Florida has gone Republican a few times, but let's not forget how short-lived it was ago that when Andrew Gillum and Chris King ran for governor, we almost had this state as blue.
We sure did.
You're talking about, 6 years ago, we were right in their line to be a blue state. And you having cities like Orlando, Tampa, Tallahassee that are going blue, West Palm Beach that is going blue, Broward County that's going blue, Miami flipped to red now.
I know.
I think it's some of that red, that Dade County area red is flipping because they invested in us. And I'm thinking that, we got to stop leaving any stone unflipped. So we got to just really be honest with ourselves. We need the Black agenda to come together, and we need to describe and define what is it that we want. I've been in the past a guy to allow politicians to come to my church during election seasons. I think this is my last year ever doing that. I'm allowed you to come throughout the year, but I don't think I'm allowing anybody to come through an election season anymore. Because I don't need you just to show up. I need your dollars to show up in our community. Mm-hmm. So if you're coming here for what? My job is not to give you more social media presence.
Mhm.
My job is to introduce people to people who are making changes and people who are making, systematic movements that better our community. And I
Mhm.
want to challenge the Black community to tell all the politicians that they can't come in yet until we see some real changes for our Black community. So we're no longer to be taken for granted. You're gonna, a girl that is out here and the dude don't show much effort, but she just gives herself to him, means that he tends not to have respect for her.
Mhm.
And we are that girl now.
Wow.
We become the girl that they don't have, like almost like they're courting everybody else, but they're coming back home to sleep with us.
Wow.
And we got to change the narrative. And I know that sounds harsh, but that's such a reality for us right now. And if we're not careful, because now dealing with your topic, it hurts, but now we must move forward. We did such a great job spilling fear tactics into the Black community leading up to this election. Vote or die. That was one of the phrases that we kept hearing. Vote like your life depends on it. That's another, because it does. So these are phrases that we put into our people, and we tried to scare them. Well, guess what? Wednesday morning, we discovered that the fear tactics didn't work.
Didn't work.
Because
wow,
some of us didn't vote for Harris.
Right.
Men, 24%, I think it was, didn't vote for, Black men didn't vote for Harris. Mm-hmm. We're seeing 9% of women, Black women, didn't vote for Harris. Mm-hmm. So is it that we don't like her? Is it that we didn't want to be engaged in history? Or is it that some people were seeing it's bigger than her or history? We don't like agendas. And so now we got to figure out, how do we educate our people? Because one thing I learned about us is we don't do well losing consistently. Mm-hmm. African Americans don't do well losing consistently. Well, we have been introduced to such a losing platform that we got to figure out, how do we negotiate this thing? Because I can't tell my community to sit back for 4 years and just wait with another hope for what may happen in 4 years later. Mm-hmm. We got to figure out, how do we strategize? And I think right now it's time for a pause from the Black community. Everybody just get quiet for a moment. Let's get in some secret containers and let's really start to figure out, what is it that we really need? What is it that we're really going to demand? And what is it that we're not going to partner with until we see?
And that was my thought, Bishop, in even dealing with this, the hurt. That how do we move forward? And listen to where you are, because I know one of the first things of being healed is just like you're saying. Number one, we got to we've acknowledged that we're hurt. Now we got to see where this pain is coming from. What caused us to hurt so badly? And as you just stated, was it only because we didn't vote for Kamala? No, this thing is much bigger, larger than her. And right now, everybody's talking about, they're already planning, they're setting things in place for the governor of Florida. Trump knows he might not even make it 4 years, but he's setting things up, which we as a people really don't do well. We don't have succession plans because we are afraid of some. There come even like I bought a bishop now for the Church of God in Christ. We got young men on there. We got older men on there. Yeah. We got some smart folks on there. The way Mother McCoo Lewis has set her women department, it's for the. So you got to use everybody up in there. And then the poll that they took from some of the people in the church who was talking about they got too many old people in place and they don't want them to move them. They want to use their wisdom, but you got to put in place. If not, Bishop, even in our community, if we don't do something, if we don't look at this hurt, if we don't look at how we really are here, we're not going to be able to heal. Yeah. We're just gonna keep going. They didn't vote for Kamala. No, it's a bigger system.
Yeah.
A lot of, but they said that the poll that they took, the median was 62%. I mean, the median was 62 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Who gave the most data?
Yeah.
In the church about what's not. It wasn't the 13 to 30-year-old, it was the 62-year-old.
Yeah.
And so you got people who want to know, what are we going to do? We're looking, who can we put up? I don't think that's where we are right now. But what you're saying, as far as us sitting and looking, strategically planning,
Mm-hmm.
and we have too many. You can help me with this, for lack of a better way to say this. We really do have a real bad crab mentality.
We do.
In our race, and we got to, and our young people are not interested in that.
Right.
They're not interested in a lot of that. But if we're going to come forth and heal, Bishop, we got to do something to move forward.
I think that, for one, you're right. We have to embrace the hurt, right? Embrace the pain. Not only embrace the pain, let's look at what caused it.
Yeah.
So let's look at what caused this pain, because identification is one thing, but let's carve out what caused this pain. And again, I'm being very sensitive because everybody's not in pain. That's our complexion. Some people are in joy.
You are right. Yeah. You are right.
So, but for those who are hurting, let's identify the pain. If my leg is hurt, my body will learn to adjust to walk on a hurt leg.
Yeah, true.
I'll walk with a deformity of me until I can get my mobility up fast enough.
Wow.
My form may never be right again, but at least I can move. I think that one of the things that we got to do is we got to identify this hurt. We got to embody this hurt. And then we got to identify what caused the hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got to move beyond the hurt. One of the things that was real alarming to me was one of my members was working the polls. And she told me she was amazed with how many people came in, younger people came in, African-American, who didn't even know they needed to register to vote. She said that she witnessed about 20 to 25 people be turned away. And the Black poll workers, so it ain't a white issue. The Black poll workers like, you're nowhere listed. Did you register? And they said, I didn't know I had to register to vote. I just thought we show up to vote. And my question becomes, where have you been with all this education? Because we've been talking about this for a while.
Yeah.
It's been, every place has been. Matter of fact, we went from registering to vote to actually get them to the polls to vote. Because remember, the whole register to vote campaign was going on. Then we moved to, let me get you to the polls to actually execute the vote. So I think that we got a lot of stuff interior that we really got to work on. Like, stuff got to stop becoming important to us 2 weeks and 3 months outside of an election.
Mm-hmm.
We got to start setting ourselves up for it. So what do we do with hurt? With this hurt, I think we use this hurt to mobilize us to move into where we need to be.
Mm-hmm.
We need to move with the pain in mind. Our people move great with pain in mind. The suffer of our ancestors was not from a place of privilege, it was from a place of pain.
Mm-hmm.
They move with pain in mind, and they put their pain, watch this, learning how to purposely place your pain. So we don't get an outrage. Mm-hmm. We don't just get up here and complain on social media. Where do we channel our pain? How do we move forward now? If we are hurt, how do we move the emotion to a movement?
Yes.
And that's what we got to figure out how to do, because what we can't do is this. We can't change what happened a week ago.
Exactly.
That's done. But what we can do is channel our pain, channel our purpose, realign ourselves, connect to our communities, make sure our communities understand their worth and their values. There is something to be done, even when what you want to be done can't be done. Wow. So there is something to be done right now.
And Bishop, how do we do this collectively? You know, because we're going to have to come together as a body. So our community here in Tallahassee, it's just like a church. You got all the little silos, which is going to be, but how do we bring everybody together? And then we bring Tallahassee and Orlando and Alabama and all. How do we connect us?
We have to humble us. Like, let's recognize that, man,
Right.
you more gifted at this than me. I was talking the other day, Jamal Bryant is a good friend of mine as well. And I was just talking the other day about what Jamal does, I don't do. And it's not that I don't like what he does, it's that I'm not gifted in that aspect as he is to do what he does. That's his calling. So if we're at a conference, say we're at the Capitol, right? Say we're at the Capitol in Tallahassee, and we have rallied people together to get to this Capitol. Me, Jamal, Rudy McKissick, even Dr. Tallahassee, Dr.
Holmes.
Dr. Holmes, we're all standing there. 4 pastors, right? Say our population is FAMU, Florida State students, right? Derek McRae is not the person who should go to the mic first. Or if the highlight is going to be on the close of the message, don't let Derek McRae close the message. The strong person that we know in that realm is Jamal Harrison Bryant. But it takes Derek, Dr. Holmes, Rudy McKissick to humble themselves to say, Jay, that's your lane. Go for it.
That's good.
You look at the movement of Martin Luther King.
That's good. That's
which
good.
is amazing. Martin Luther King's movement, they didn't even all like his preaching.
Right.
Most of them thought he could preach, if we're going to be honest with ourselves. Some of them had other ambitions, but they recognized he was the anointed one for the occasion.
Wow.
And it gave him the opportunity to walk in his grace. We are so stuck on status that we don't give people permission to walk in a field of grace that we don't contain.
Wow.
It don't take away from me to say that Jamal is the most fitted. If you're going to talk to the older demographics, Holmes is your dude. Holmes get up there and start talking, and Rudy has a little twine to that too. So they are gifted to that. It don't make me lesser. You notice I ain't even named my name for being even great enough for any of those platforms. And I'm so fine with that. What I could do is strategize. So when everybody start learning,
wow, I love it.
When they start learning their field of grace, we can get together. But we would we would not be successful when everybody's trying to show their field of glory. So it's the grace. What are you gifted to do? Jasmine Burney is a phenomenal organizer. Jasmine is a great organizer. Jasmine's going to surrender the microphone to any of the 4 I just told you when it comes to speaking, because she recognizes they got a cadence to their talk. It don't take away from Jasmine. It just means I understand who I am, and I'm going to be extraordinary in my field of grace. Yeah. We got too many personalities, too many egos, and that's why we keep like, who is the Black spokesperson right now? We can't even name the top 5 Black spokespersons and that be universally kind of received across America. We can't name it.
Can't.
And we're going to have to humble ourselves. He got a voice just like me, or she got a voice just like me. Humble yourself, sir. Humble yourself, ma'am. They all got voices, yeah. But who's the mantle on right now?
Man, I love this. I love this.
Who is the mantle?
Bishop.
And when you see the mantle, follow the mantle. The mantle helps all of us.
Yes.
The mantle. So Sunday I preached a message, right? I preached a message Sunday coming from 2 Kings. I preached about Elijah and Elisha. I talked about my message title was Ask Bigger. Ask bigger. Elijah is doing all this work. Elisha is watching. Elijah keeps trying to push him away because he knows that his season is ending. Elisha sees, no, I'm going to get what you got on you. When he finally goes through all these seasons of rejection, which is commitment, he goes through all these seasons of rejection. He finally now turns to Elisha, the younger one, and says, what do you want of me? And he says, what I really want from you, I want a double portion of your anointing. So often we go to quantity.
Come on.
In that, I want a double. Ooh, it's more. But when you really look with the fine-tuned lens into the text, the more was necessary because the mentee is looking at himself and saying, I'm nowhere near as qualified as you are to do what you do. So I need a double portion. Why? To carry out the work that you already gifted and skilled to do. This is where we need to be as it relates to us in our movement of moving forward.
Yes.
Because sometimes you can look in the back seat and think you can drive as good as the driver.
Right.
But you're not dealing with the pressure that the driver has to deal with. And we got to say, man, you're great. I recognize it. And for the next generation that's coming up, we got to honor and recognize, like the work that Martin Luther King did is so extraordinary. I'm like, ain't nobody doing that to this day. That man had a different grace on his life than anybody since him has had. That's the reason why we keep going back and honoring him. We honor people who do work today, but we still go back to what he did because he had a grace on his life to accomplish it. The question is, as we're moving forward, who has the grace? Who has the grace? Sick of dealing with people who want the glory.
Right. Who has the grace? And as you just stated, Bishop, I was just thinking, you just named you named 5 people. Every last one of them have a different grace, as you just pointed out, on them to do different things at a certain time. But as you mentioned, they each got to be humble enough to know that at this point right here, where we are on this platform dealing with this, you will be the best person to start us off. You will be the best. That Jamal Bryant can close, and even the way he talks about the voting and the history and all of that stuff, all of that was so good. And as you was talking, I'm just thinking now even about the Kojic election. Macklin wasn't that far behind Bishop Sheard. Mm-hmm. And I think you have to have so many more. You have to have a lot more than what they are. I think they 100, 200 points apart. But Bishop Macklin stated, and the other 11 men said, none of them are running for the presiding bishop. So where we are now and what Kojic is doing now and the things that Bishop Sheard is bringing in, they're all saying, we recognize that in this place right here, you have the grace to lead us further, but each one a grace for their own particular field.
Totally agree.
And one thing I noticed about Bishop Sheard, he will put us in place, Bishop. He puts you in place and he's not intimidated by it.
You don't have to be intimidated for where you're called.
Come on.
Like, intimidated people recognize I'm not supposed to be here.
Yes.
That's why you're intimidated. You got to have something working for you.
Wow.
And what's working for you is intimidation.
Wow.
So when you know that that's your lane, when you know it's your skill set, when you know it's your giftings, when you know it's what your purpose is to do, and watch this, because purpose do shift, right? There was a season where I was purposed to play drums. The purpose shifted. I'm no longer purposed to play drums. If I play drums now, I'm horrible. You got me? So my purpose is shifted to something else. We catch on and we recognize these shifts in our life. Now, we don't have to be intimidated. I'm not intimidated by a phenomenal. I hire the best drummers possible for my ministry because I enjoy watching them in their season.
Oh,
they're graced for this. I enjoy it. I don't sit there and say, do it this way, do it that way, because I'm not intimidated by a season that I no longer can occupy. I'm not good for that anymore. Youth pastors, I honor youth pastors. At one point in time, I felt I was one of the top youth pastors.
Was?
My season has expired. So a youth pastor don't intimidate me because I don't qualify to sit in that seat no more. And when we started recognizing that watch this, and it should be where your qualifications keeps elevating you. Here's what the scripture Bible says: you've been faithful over a few things. Now, come on, allow me to make you. I'm gonna force you into something. I got a whole different translation for this. I'm gonna force you into something, which is going to be an elevated position. You don't get to retire; you get to rule over many. Now, when you properly walk into elevation, it's always going to be a force pull from your last season.
Man.
When you've done it right, you don't want. I didn't want to leave youth pastoring, just like I didn't want to leave playing drums. I enjoyed it. I was mastering both seasons. Mm-hmm. But elevation said, I'm going to make you ruler over many. So God snatches you out from where you have become a master of and puts you into a new season that you got a little hesitancy in, to just show you that it's never been about you. You're in a season for you.
Wow. Wow.
So wow. That's why we can look at, and I honor Bishop Macklin for saying, I'm not going to run against you, Bishop Sheard, because Macklin is saying, hey, that's not my seat. I never forget Bishop P.A. Brooks said something to me years ago. He said that he didn't want to be the presiding bishop. He said he wanted to be where he was. He recognized that wasn't his season for him. So he honored serving other presiding bishops. We got to get out of this being trained that if you don't have the top seat, you're not valued.
Mm-hmm.
We got to get out of that, because top seats are representations.
Yes.
Real work is happening in the supporting seats.
In the supporting seats.
Everybody's upset about, the election. The truth is, whoever the president was going to be, they're going to be a glorified head coach. You have never seen Nick Saban coach directly the running backs. Right. He's not even the first line of recruit for the running backs. There is an assistant coach who is over the running backs that tells Nick Saban, we need to put our eyes on this person. Nick Saban gets the credit, but the people in the trenches are doing the work. And we got to catch that, because we keep making credit looks like value.
Okay.
The value is in the entire structure of the team. So how do we now start saying, my season is this, and I'm good. Next 2 years, my season may be that, and I'm good, but I'm going to honor you in your season. So that's just kind of, that's my little short piece of what I'm feeling about the shifts and the things, and how do we move forward? We move forward in embodying our hurt, mm-hmm. putting our hurt to purpose, and looking to see, even while I'm hurt, what's my assignment?
I love it.
Even while I'm hurt, what is my assignment? Because you have an assignment even in your hurt. What you don't have to do is to sit and just wallow in your distress. That don't happen.
I was even and I know even in dealing with death as it goes, and divorce and separation and all of that, I agree with you that as you embody the hurt, as you acknowledge it and embrace that it's there, there come a place then, what is the purpose, or how can I put this hurt, how can I put this to more? I know my sister, my brother, my nephew died suddenly of sickle cell, and my brother started the foundation. My sister, his mom, works with the sickle cell foundation for that, because that's how he died, the complication with sickle cell. With me, my baby was born young. I mean, I was only 21 weeks. Her lungs wasn't developed enough. So with Dr. Jodrika Brown and FSU, they have that program, and they brought me in to speak on it from a faith-based perspective, and also as a mother who wanted a child, but the child didn't live but 3.5 hours. But I turned all of that around now. And so my heart is to serve children and these pregnant women, and these children with everything that I have,
Yeah.
to make it better. And so as we do these things, Pastor Bishop McCray, I can, and listening to this show today, I can see where we can make it better, different. And you are absolutely correct. Who would we say is our Black voice? Who would say, okay, who will speak for the Black race? Who?
Yeah.
I couldn't give you one nationally.
Right.
I can give you one from Florida and Alabama and different ones that I think would do a good job with it. But
Pastor Judy, and even with us doing one from Florida, the sad part is if you threw out a name, right, you're going to have 28 people to shoot that name down.
Okay. Yeah.
And we shoot the name down not because a person's not doing good work. You're knowledgeable enough, you're skilled enough, and you've been in the work enough to know a good name. We shoot people down because of an occurrence or one part of the platform. Let's just be crystal clear. I get a lot of flack about being a pastor and a Democrat. A lot of flack, because they're like, well, how do you stand for this? Well, I stand for this because I'm not a one item agenda person.
Yes.
I am a platform person.
Yes.
I'm never going to agree with anybody on everything.
Right.
If it did, that would make them me. Heck, I don't even agree with myself on some stuff.
Look at that.
So I can't agree with somebody on everything. And it's nothing wrong with not being able to agree on a certain topic or an issue. We got to get comfortable in seeing the greater good of a person versus trying to find the small specks to bring them down.
I agree.
If we're going to get a voice, if we're going to rally our people, we got to get the spirit of unity in this. And we don't have the spirit of unity in us anymore. We have the spirit of division in us. Social media has widely contributed to the spirit of division. I was having a talk yesterday with a very prominent white pastor. And as me and his white pastor was talking yesterday, the white pastor said something to me. He said, our churches aren't as influenced by social media. He says, we got a lot of issues in the white church. They just don't hit national news because we don't use social media with our religion as strong. And us, on the other hand, we believe that Black church can't exist without social media.
Yes.
That's something for us to really think about, which means that the safeguard or the firewalls that we have in protecting the integrity of ministry sometimes can't exist because everything is instantly shared, and it's usually shared through immatured vessels.
Yes.
So we got to figure out, how do we get ourselves back together? If the Bible says if your brother's in a fault, cover them. How do we get ourselves back together to help individuals universally all over, that if something happens, even with a good friend of mine, he ran for governor, Andrew. Love Andrew. Got you. Like him, don't like the situation that happened. So what? We over that. How do we who are spiritual figure out how to restore? Because the one thing we cannot deny about Andrew Gillum, that man was gifted for the season. That man had a gift on his life. He was able to rally us. Andrew Gillum was on his way to the White House.
He was.
And that's why other people jumped in to try to do stuff against him. We're not condoning anything.
Right.
Start sending hate mail on that. And Andrew ain't no different than Derek. We all got problems. We all got failures. We all got shortcomings. I just thank God that sometimes mine ain't as public as everybody else's. You got me? But
Bishop McCray.
All of us are sitting up under a seat of grace and thanking God for mercy on a regular. But as a people, we got to figure out that you cannot deny. I can't put my finger right now on another person in Florida who is African-American that is as gifted as the last time I saw Andrew Gillum.
Listen here, Bishop, and I've got time for me to prepare. God, you good. But Bishop, that's one man Well, you know me. I support you. You can mess up. And you righteous. Let's repent. Let's get this thing together and go on
And go forward.
and go forward. I was, and I am 100% Andrew Gillum. If he was to run right now, and when he was running for governor, I was top front on
Me too.
his campaign team,
Mhm.
right there in the front. He made whatever he did it, you know. But a leader extraordinaire, a man who gifted, seasoned with grace, who know how to move things. Yes, sir.
Exactly.
If he was to run right now, he would be one of the ones I would put out there. And also Stacey Abrams.
Agreed.
I like Stacey Abrams, reading her books, watching her. Pastor Scylla had put on here, you still may cry with the pain, but you got to make it work.
You got to make it work.
You got to make it work. And we have to get to the place where we can now, we got to be at the place now where we can sit down and we got to have some family talks. We got to have some, and I'm not just talking about we got to have it in our natural biological family, our community, but we got to have some wide talks.
Yeah.
Because if not, we're going to be hurting and having self-pity parties for a long time.
Yeah.
And that's a bad place to live. That's a bad place to be. You don't want to come outside to play. You want to keep your head covered. But Bishop, we got to move forward.
Got to.
Give us 2 minutes of stuff. Priscilla, what I got, give me 2 minutes of stuff to close this out, Bishop.
So I say to us in closing, first of all, thank you for having me on today. We have to figure out how to move forward. Pain is real, but pain does not progress. And we cannot sit in pain. We got to figure out how to purpose pain. Pain is real, but pain does not progress us. Pain will snag us, and pain will also surrender us. We got to forgive. We got to move forward. And can I say this to the audience? We need to figure out how to see something bright, even in discouragement.
Wow.
Find a bright spot and live out the bright spot until the whole situation shifts for you. We're going to be fine. We really will be fine. This is not the first time that we've seen a controversial leader in DC. We will be fine. We need to stop with some of the hypersensitive phrases that is producing fear in our community. And we need more faith leaders to speak up, to say the same faith we had before the election in November, the same faith we got on the backside of the election in November. God is still God, even though people are sitting in the house. God is still God, and we're going to be absolutely okay. I thank God for the season that we're in. I think it's going to be a rebirthing for the church.
Yes.
Let's all just humble ourselves, pray, seek the face of God, turn from our wicked ways. He's going to heal the land. We're going to be all right.
We're going to be all right. We're going to be, y'all see my brother, a nice looking great beard. Y'all saying, but y'all, that's it. We're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. We're going to make it. And as a people, we got to get together. So I want to reiterate what Bishop McRae said earlier. Let's settle ourselves, quiet down. Let's seek the Lord. And then let's come up with a strategic national plan that we can look. And whoever's graced for what they're graced for, let's humble ourselves and allow them to bring that grace forward. All right. It ain't time for, if you know what you're called to do, ain't no need for intimidation.
Right.
And I pray, Bishop, that we get out of this pull down spirit. We don't have to tear each other up. And as you stated, you don't need nothing from 40 years ago. All of us are sitting under grace.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, Bishop, I dance in church. Because he didn't pull the cover back. And he ain't yet pulled it back. Yep. And I keep my mouth off people so he don't pull it back. I sure do. But I appreciate you, Bishop, for coming on, and I'm going to have you right back on because I want you to talk about something else, and we want to go into 2025. We got to strategize now. We'll be voting for governor in Florida in 2 years.
Yes.
In 2 years, who we got? They putting people in place right now. Who do we have?
It's gonna be hard.
Who do we have?
We need a real good coming to Jesus.
We do.
They lined up for governor's mansion and the White House beyond 4 years.
They have. Somebody talking about DeSantis' wife. Y'all better get ready.
Hear my statement again. I open up with this. This country is more what? Sexist than they are racist.
And you are absolutely correct. And not only in the country, in the church. All right, y'all. This has been a real good show. Don't y'all kill my brother. I know he comes out good, and I love it. That's why we have great talks. I love you all. Thank y'all so very much for tuning in to the Real Talk with Judy live radio show. Those of you who tuned in, thank you so very much. Y'all do me a favor. Share this on your page. This show right here needs to go worldwide. Share it on your page, all of your pages. Share it on your pages. And I promise you, every time I come on, I come with the intention of touching your heart, helping you to see better, and helping you to heal and move forward. That's my desire. I have no other motive but to see us reach the top. All of us. It is going to take all of us to help all of us move forward in spite of the hurt. So I ask y'all to join me every Tuesday night for Bible study, every Sunday for Sunday morning service. Bible studies at 7:30. We're online. And then every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. God is doing something. And as both of my bishops said, one of them said this: God is up to something good, and we're smack in the middle of it. That's Linwood Dillon. My presiding bishop said, I see you in the future. No, that was the other. I see you in the future, and you look so much better than you do right now. My current bishop said, you got to see it before you see it, or you never will see it. Guess what, y'all? That's Real Talk.
Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy on the radio. Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy.